An independent inquiry into the New South Wales bushfires will examine whether the resources available to firefighters were sufficient. The review will examine the causes, preparation and response to the disaster. Antoinette Collins reports.
The 6-month investigation will begin almost immediately and will be led by the former Deputy Police Commissioner Dave Owens and the former New South Wales Chief Scientist Mary O'Kane. It will examine the cause of the devastating fires, the state's response and how prepared it was in the lead up to the bushfire season, which is still underway with around 75 bushfires still burning across the state. Now it's important to remember the fact that those fires are ongoing, and the Premier has said that there won't be any public hearings into this special inquiry, but it's important that submissions come in from the public as well as those on the ground. She says there won't be any public hearings because she wants to get as much information and recommendations in the next 6 months as she can ahead of next year's fire season.
It's important for us to have the experts involved. It's important for us to have a timely way, and public officials are always subject to public hearings through the estimates process. We'll have potentially 4 rounds of estimates this year, 2 rounds of estimates early in the year, so there's plenty of opportunity for people to have their say and plenty of opportunity for people to make public submissions. We welcome the public submissions. I know that both Mr Owens and Professor O'Kane will be providing that opportunity for public submissions. We want the process to be robust and comprehensive, but we also want it to be meaningful so that government can adopt any recommendations ahead of the next bushfire season.
Now, the terms of reference of this independent inquiry will look at climate change. It's going to give special consideration to the weather, the drought, climate change, fuel loads and human activity. It's been a bit of cause of consternation between the Liberal and the National Coalition here in New South Wales, with the Nationals leader John Barilaro and the Environment Minister Matt Keane having a very public slanging match over the issues of climate change and land clearing and how that has impacted on this bushfire season. It's going to look at building standards, hazard reduction and the appropriate use of Indigenous practices. So they'll be among those considerations that the inquiry will be investigating. Today has also seen the announcement of a joint 50-50 funding partnership between the Commonwealth Government and the New South Wales Government in terms of funding the clean-up operations, which is expected to run into the hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's the high hundreds of millions of dollars. And those clean-up costs that can be, as much as $50,000, possibly more in some circumstances, are often covered by insurance companies. So the government is urging those insurance companies to pass on that money to their policy holders to help with their rebuilding efforts, with concerns that many people are underinsured over this bushfire season because they have to rebuild to a higher standard of construction. So that's the other major announcement today, and that funding will come out of the federal government's $2 billion bushfire recovery fund.